Samoa Joe is back! We are live, man! NXT has some law and order. William Regal isn't going anywhere, man. Samoa Joe is back as all of the rumors circulated this week that he would be. He's now William Regal's enforcer. And he confronted Karrion Kross tonight. LA Knight, the new $1 million champion. But without the $1 million man. And Tommaso Ciampa and Toothless Timmy. Texas Tornado against the Grizzled Young Veterans. Are we looking at the new NXT Tag Team Champions? We're going to talk about this and what I thought was a very good NXT show tonight. Right here on the only post show that you need in this IWC. This is your NXT post show right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT post show for June 15th, 2021. I'm your host, JD from New York. Welcome to the OTS venue. Tuesday night, man, NXT. Very, very good show this evening. I thought it was better than TakeOver, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed myself more tonight with this NXT show than I did with TakeOver. And there was a lot that happened tonight. I love the flow of the show. I love that they didn't try to cram in too many wrestling matches tonight. I love that there was backstage segments. I love that Samoa Joe came back and we predicted it right here on this show, exactly what type of role he should be in. And lo and behold, the IWC Messiah stands correct again. Not to pat myself on the back or anything. I mean, give me a break. I don't give a shit who else predicted anything, man. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't give a shit about anybody else. I care about what happens inside this beautiful establishment here. Samoa Joe, Karrion Kross, William Regal. That was a great open. We're going to talk about that and what I liked about it. LA Knight and the $1 million coronation with the $1 million championship. I don't often admit that I'm wrong, but I think after Sunday night with TakeOver and Cameron Grimes losing, it might actually be the right decision that he lost. Because I loved everything that happened with LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, and Ted DiBiase tonight on NXT. Io Shirai is back. I don't know for how long, but it seemingly appears that she's either doing one of two things. One, going after Candice LeRae, which I don't really care about. Or two, she's going after Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell with Zoe Stark as her tag team partner because NXT needs tag teams because they got tag team championships in the women's division and they have no teams to vie for those championships. So that may be a direction that Io Shirai is going in, being that she's already conquered that mountain for the singles title in NXT. I thought it was a very good show tonight, man. They're building towards Great American Bash, and we're going to break it down tonight like we always do right here on Off the Script. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Chat is open, so make sure you guys chime on in, talk about the show, be respectful as always in the chat. Super chats are open. Make sure you guys get them in. We'll hang out at the end of the show as always. Grab your cold beverages. Super chat segment is always a good time. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. We are looking at nearly 300 likes so far at the beginning of this podcast tonight. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 700 likes if we can get it. If you guys enjoyed Samoa Joe back on NXT tonight in the role that they gave him as William Regal's enforcer, I would love if you hit that thumbs up and show me how much you love Joe being back on NXT. If you guys want to follow me on social media, thank you to everybody that's tweeted with me tonight at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. It's the only way you guys will know if I go live or if I upload anything really to the subscription boxes. Make sure you guys go and do that. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends. I love these guys, man. Advanced GG. That is advanced.gg. You guys are going to go and check them out. If you guys need something to get you through that next gaming session, if you guys need something that's going to get you through that next workout, if you guys need something that's going to get you through that next study session or a long day at the office, Advanced GG is your number one go-to, man. I use it right before these very shows. I use it right before every live stream that I do while I game. We got the new season of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War coming out on Thursday. How am I going to stay ahead of the game and continue dominating like I usually do? Advanced GG. You guys got a multitude of flavors. You guys got beautiful shakers. You guys got all natural ingredients, natural caffeine from green tea extract developed for you by scientists. Can't go wrong, man. Advanced.gg. Use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel, man. Monday Night Raw last night was absolutely horrific. Horrific! Eva Marie, I got people making videos on tweets that I put out how disgusted I was, man. I'm glad I provide you content. But the thing is, you make no money on your content. You go nowhere with your content. You're shit. But me, people line up to sit in this very venue and listen to what I talk about. Eva Marie, Piper Niven, or whatever the fuck they're going to name her, was absolutely dreadful. It's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of OTS rants for 2021. Go and check that out. Every second of it is worth your time. Off the Script on Sunday, 380, Like Father, Like Son, was the title of episode 380. We talked about Triple H and his idiotic comments coming out of the NXT TakeOver press conference, or conference call, rather, right before TakeOver in your house. We got the Super Show for SmackDown and Dynamite last week. That was uploaded on Saturday. Go and check that stuff out, man. All on the homepage of the channel. All there if you guys missed any of the content on the channel this week. There's even an extra there where I give my full in-depth opinion of Samoa Joe. And we'll talk about a little bit of that today right here on the show. And let's get into it, man. Enough of me bullshitting here. NXT was very good tonight. Samoa Joe returns, and it was legitimately the first thing at the top of the show. We go right into the ring. And William Regal is the first thing that we see as he walks out to the ring. Fans are chanting, Regal, Regal, Regal. Regal thanks everyone and just wants to get a few words off of his chest. Regal gets a little bit emotional here. He is crying. You see tears visibly falling down his face. He starts pointing at the announce table. He talks about from day one he was with NXT, sitting at the announce desk. He got the opportunity to call the very first NXT takeover. He saw NXT grow into this incredible product, traveling the world. William Regal says that there are a lot of things that we don't know about, but every moment not spent with his family has been spent thinking about making NXT into what it is. The place they wanted it to be, constantly working on that and trying to get everything as correct as possible for every competitor, every announcer, but most of all for every fan sitting at home watching this show and every fan that is paying money to come see the product in person. Regal says he's finally decided that with all the recent chaos and bedlam in NXT, he is walking away. He gave us all he can. And because of the fans, the staff, the competitors, and the viewers at home, Regal doesn't think he's capable of giving us what we deserve anymore. So Regal thinks it's time for him to walk away, and then before he actually gets those words out of his mouth, Karrion Kross, the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, comes smiling down the aisle with his wife Scarlett, holding the NXT Championship. He comes down the aisle smiling with this absolutely prick-like smile, man. What a fucking asshole. I love it. I love it. He walked down the aisle, man. It's almost as if he was smiling more with this than when he won the NXT Championship. Smiling down the aisle because he knew he was right all along about William Regal. Kross gets into the ring. He says the paradigm always knew this day would come, just not when. Kross asked Regal if he's really crying. Are you crying? Is that crying that I see coming from our general manager, William Regal? Fans boo Kross. Kross came off like a complete prick. It was glorious. Kross says Regal is absolutely pathetic because he's standing there crying in front of all of these simps. Kross says 1 week ago, he told Regal that he lost control of this roster, and Regal knew that when he said it. He knew it was true when he said it. Kross said at NXT TakeOver in your house, when he put a hole in the Mount Rushmore of NXT, he knew he could control this place through chaos and violence. Kross says now that we are here, he wants Regal to tell the people he is leaving, then walk his ass up the aisle and never come back. Kross starts yelling at Regal to admit that he was right all along about what's going on with William Regal. Say it! Say it! Say Kross conquers all. All of a sudden, we hear that familiar tone, that glorious CFO theme music, that easily identifiable theme music. Samoa Joe comes back. He walks down the aisle. He's wearing this beautiful blue suit, this midnight blue suit. He looks fantastic. No smile from Samoa Joe as he walks down the aisle. He gets into the ring. He takes the microphone. He got cheered. 300 plus in the Capitol Wrestling Center. We all stopped what we were doing because that's exactly what happens when Samoa Joe walks down the aisle and grabs a microphone and is ready to speak to us. You stop. You stop what you're doing. Not many people can command that type of attention, man. Samoa Joe is a rarity in this industry. How many people can you look at right now on any wrestling program where you think and say, hey, I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put my phone down, get off Twitter, sit my ass in front of the TV, grab a cold beverage, and just watch and listen. He commands your attention in every single way possible. Not many people can do that. I can't think of anybody right now besides Roman Reigns that does that. You got Roman Reigns. The Usos are even in that camp because I think they're fucking awesome. There's not many people. MJF, maybe. MJF, Jericho. Guys like that. Samoa Joe is in a very elite company when it comes to that. Takes the microphone. He says, you know, Regal, I believe you wanted to speak with me. So William Regal says, well, I did later in private, but now I guess that you're out here under these circumstances. I think we should do this right now then. Regal says his love for NXT. Everybody deserves a general manager that can hold the position with respect and integrity it deserves. So Regal wants Joe to be the new general manager of NXT. He's giving the general manager position to Samoa Joe tonight. Regal says he's no longer able to keep this up. Joe immediately says, absolutely not. He declines the position. Joe says he will explain why, because he knows Regal is weary. But in the year Regal has been here, he's brought the very best talent. He's plucked NXT from obscurity and made it into an international phenomenon. Joe says Regal casts a long shadow and his shoes will be very large to fill. I cannot do that and I will not accept. But I can make you an offer. Joe knows he always made Regal's life hell when he was in NXT, but he always offered Regal respect. So he will be more than happy to make sure Regal receives the respect he deserves from everybody. Joe looked at Cross. Cross looked at Joe. Regal says that's an interesting idea, and if that's something he's willing to do, there are some conditions. Number one, you cannot be a competitor in the ring. That's out of the question. Number two, you can't lay a hand on anyone unless you are absolutely provoked. Joe says he accepts Regal's offer, which only leads to one more question to be answered. He steps nose to nose with Cross. Why are you still in the ring? He looked at Cross. Tick-tock, young champion, Joe says to Cross. Cross makes his exit with Scarlett. They leave the ring. Cross heads to the back, and Joe is standing in the middle of the ring with William Regal, shaking hands on this new NXT partnership. This was absolutely incredible for a segment. Had everything you wanted. Had the emotion of William Regal. By the way, I love William Regal. I love William Regal, the best general manager that we've had in the last 2 decades. Probably longer. He does everything right. The show was never centered around him. He always put the superstars first. William Regal is beloved. I would have hated if William Regal was gone and off of NXT television. I'm glad that he's staying. It had the emotion of William Regal. It was almost as if he was really walking away. Those must have been genuine emotions, genuine tears from William Regal, which is a great thing because if someone like that, per storyline, is not going anywhere and he is selling to you, the fan, that he's going somewhere and you see legit real tears fall from his cheek, what do you think that man thinks of NXT? You think that man cares about NXT? You think that man loves NXT the way he says? Absolutely. If you could go into that storyline and make yourself in that moment emotional to the point where you're crying, that's all I need to know about what William Regal thinks of NXT. It's great. I love it. You got Cross and the intensity of Cross, proving that he was right all along, preying on William Regal's weakness. Then you got Samoa Joe coming on in to balance everything out because you got William Regal feeling low, you got Cross feeling like he's a god, and then Samoa Joe comes out here and he just evens everything out. This was incredible. I talked about it in a couple of videos. I talked about it several times. I was very stern with everybody. Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross, I know it felt like a take my money situation, the way that they stared at each other and the big match feel that it gave off, even though Samoa Joe is somewhat retired right now. I talked about it. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was the right idea for Samoa Joe to come on in and wrestle Karrion Kross if he was going to be an active performer. I didn't like it because Karrion Kross is not somebody that you're going to just hand the loss to. You've built him up to this point. You've had him beat legitimately everybody, from Adam Cole to Johnny Gargano to Kyle O'Reilly to Finn Balor to Pete Dunne to Keith Lee. Everybody. There's nobody left. There is nobody left. It's going to be a very difficult situation for NXT to find him somebody going into SummerSlam. Joe coming on in to beat Kross is not right. Because not only is it stupid to give Kross a loss, but if you go and do Samoa Joe against Kross and have Joe beat Kross for the title, you're pretty much right back in the same boat that you are in with Kross. Because Joe is just as legitimate as Kross. There's not many people on that roster that are going to beat Samoa Joe. He gives off that vibe. This is a reset for Samoa Joe. Because they fucked him up on the main roster. Now he's back in NXT where they actually give a shit about who he is and what he brings to the table. I didn't want him to come on in and do that. I didn't want him to come on in and be a full-fledged GM. Samoa Joe is worth so much more than being a GM on NXT. And nobody really understood my reasonings behind that. Some of you did, some of you didn't. You'd think with Samoa Joe being a GM, that means he's got a permanent spot on television. It doesn't work that way. NXT's general manager is always somebody that plays in the shadows. You know that they're booking the show, but you don't physically see them. William Regal's not on every show. If Samoa Joe came in to be the new GM and William Regal was going away completely, then Samoa Joe would have to come on in and be William Regal on NXT, and we would see him once every 6 weeks, once every 7 weeks. It's not what you really want to do with Samoa Joe. Now, with Samoa Joe taking this role as enforcer, this keeps William Regal off of on TV. It keeps him off of TV in that general manager role, but it also keeps William Regal on the brand. It also keeps Joe on TV. So Joe is not the actual GM. He's not going to sit in the back in the shadows and not be a GM. Now he's going to be an enforcer. You're more willing to see him on TV now, week by week by week, because he's going to be running shit, and he's going to be the personal assistant for William Regal. When William Regal doesn't have to be on TV, we're going to get Samoa Joe. It's a beautiful marriage of perfection with Samoa Joe being back. I wasn't for it. Everybody was, oh man, I don't want to see him go back to WWE. How could he go back to WWE? Why would he make that mistake? We don't know anything regarding Samoa Joe's health. Maybe he wanted to go to AEW, but AEW also is in the boat of saying, you know what, we want you. WWE didn't clear you. We're looking at the same thing. I don't think we'll be able to clear you either. We take these concussions and these injuries pretty seriously. Who knows what is going on with Samoa Joe? Maybe he's physically incapable of wrestling. This is it for him. So if Samoa Joe was looking at a possible AEW, they turned him down because of the same injury that he suffered in WWE. Where else was he going to go? Your options are pretty slim at that point. You're going to go back to Impact Wrestling to do what? Work in front of no fans? Be depressed for the rest of your career? Nobody wants that. NXT seemed like it was his only option. So he's back in NXT, and he's right now in a much bigger role than he would have ever been in Impact. And AEW doesn't need another mouthpiece for somebody, even though it would have been great. They got too many guys that are coming on in, not active, that are mouthpieces. They got Paul White. They got Jake the Snake. They got Mark Henry they just signed. You don't really need Samoa Joe to come on in and be a mouthpiece and not wrestle. Go back to NXT. This is a great role for him. So we don't know what his situation was. So now he's back on NXT. He's an enforcer. And in the role that we talked about being the best for him. He's not wrestling Cross. He's not beating Cross. He's not the full-fledged GM. We got William Regal still on television. Samoa Joe is now his backup, his enforcer. William Regal doesn't have to be on TV every week. Now we could bestow that responsibility to Samoa Joe. It is perfect. Absolutely perfect. This was an awesome, awesome segment. This felt like the old NXT. Everything here felt like the old NXT. The music, the crowd popping big for Samoa Joe, Cross's intensity, the emotion from Regal, the fucking stop what you're doing promo by Samoa Joe. If that's what we're going to get from Samoa Joe every week, then I'm all for it. It's not perfect, though. There are a couple of caveats here. There are a couple of negatives that I need to make you guys aware of. Number one, if Samoa Joe is in this role, it does pretty much signify that his wrestling career is over. If he's back with WWE, and one of the first things that William Regal says is that he will not be an active in-ring competitor, his career may be over. He may wrestle maybe one more time, two more times, but who will that be against? How many weeks is Samoa Joe going to start bullying the heels around before the heels start looking bad and bad and bad and bad every single week? At some point, Joe is going to have to get his comeuppance. At one point, Joe is going to have to deal with somebody that's going to push his buttons enough to a point where the heel makes Joe look bad. Joe can't come in and make all the heels look bad every single fucking week. It's not going to be a good look. So you got to think about that. You got to think about those two things. And Samoa Joe being on TV every week, it's a great thing. I just don't hope, I hope it doesn't get to a point where it's overexposure. Because you know how WWE tends to do these things. They love to have something great and then they fucking beat the shit out of it. They jam it down your throat over and over again because everybody likes it. Oh, they like it. More of it, more of it, more of it. Motherfucker, I just want another scoop. I don't want fucking another full plate of food. You know? Take it easy. Take it easy. Tonight was a big night for Joe. You don't need to do this type of night every single week. So though most of it is good, there are a little caveat or caveats there that might not be what Joe needs. Retirement is looming. And then you got him powerful as an enforcer. You can't really have him bully all the heels around every single week. You're going to need somebody to push his buttons. Will that be Cross? Will that be Adam Cole? Will that be Johnny Gargano? Will that be somebody? I don't know. But this was an awesome, awesome segment. Loved everything about it. I'm excited to see where it goes. It does give NXT a must-watch feel every single week. That's the type of shit I want to see. That's the type of feeling I want. Because we, as a fan base, missed that about the old NXT. That's what it had every single week. This new version of NXT, since they moved to the USA Network, you haven't felt what you felt tonight in a very long time. Awesome. Imperium versus Breezango was the first match of the night. This was an awesome tag team match. I love Imperium. I think they're great. This definitely had tag team title implications, but I think the wrong team won here, man. I don't know what they're doing with Imperium. I don't know if they're waiting for Walter to get back to the States until they start really ramping stuff up with Imperium. But they lost. Tyler Breeze and Fandango beat Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner tonight in a out-of-nowhere situation. Don't know why. They were getting their asses handed to them all night. Match was great. Breeze, he used the plancha, missed it. Looked like he really hurt himself for a little bit. Either that or he's an incredible seller. Fandango then went flying over the ropes with a tope onto Imperium. Imperium with a distraction was able to trip up Fandango, but Fandango fought back. Imperium was getting the offense on Breezango, and Fandango, he got the hot tag to Breeze. He was soon after, as soon as he made the hot tag, he was fucking lariated into the crowd by Fabian Aichner. Sky hit a lariat on Breeze that literally turned him inside out. Breeze was able to trap Aichner in a small package a little bit later for a 1-2-3 out of nowhere. After the Bell Imperium attacked Breeze, they laid him out and they hit their finishing move, that European bomb off the top rope, and then they placed an Imperium flag banner over Tyler Breeze as the camera from the top of the Capitol Wrestling Center looked down, and you seen his body laid out underneath the flag, and it said Imperium on top of the flag. I don't know where they're going with this, but Imperium, one of my favorite tag teams, should have easily disbanded of Breezango. Here they take a loss. Seemed like it was a upset, because nobody expects Breezango to do much of anything. You got Imperium, you got the Grizzled Young Veterans, you got Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, MSK. Legado del Fantasma seems to be out of it. By the time we get to the main event tonight and that tornado tag, you pretty much know where WWE is going as far as the tag team championship scene. Seems like they're going in one direction. I don't know if they're going to give Ciampa and Thatcher the tag team championships, but I'd be for it. I wasn't a big fan of those two guys being together, but just like Matt Riddle and Randy Orton on the main roster, they are growing on me slowly but surely. That must be because I'm a big fan of Tommaso Ciampa, and Timothy Thatcher's just tagging along, and it's almost as if I'm forced to like him because he's teaming with my boy Ciampa. But I would not be opposed to giving them the tag team championships. I think they work bizarrely well together. So we'll see what happens with that. Imperium loses. Breezango gets an upset victory. I don't expect much of them in the tag team title scene, but we'll see. We go backstage, and this was one of my favorite parts of the night, man. We cut to William Regal backstage, and security is trying to break up Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly as they're brawling in the back. Regal says they will settle this with an unsanctioned match. Sounds a little lame, if you ask me. Didn't we just get through an unsanctioned match at TakeOver Stand and Deliver? We're doing another unsanctioned match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole? Who made that decision? Who thinks that's a good decision? I'm over this. They stopped fighting for weeks after TakeOver in April, and now they remembered that they're still feuding with each other? I don't believe I'm going to say this, but I hope Adam Cole goes to the main roster just so that he gets the fuck away from Kyle O'Reilly. I am so over it. Unsanctioned. We've seen it already. Seems like WWE is running back rematches at the Great American Bash. So he says they will settle this in an unsanctioned match at the Bash. He says they can pick their own opponents for next week. They keep brawling. Samoa Joe shows up. He tries to break up the fight. So Cole goes after O'Reilly again. He shoves Joe out of the way. Joe took off his jacket. His entire demeanor was like, this motherfucker just put his hands on me, shoved the fucking security around. He goes and puts a sleeper hold, a chokehold on Adam Cole, leaves him laying. And then he yells at Adam Cole. He yells at the security guard. He's like, when Cole snaps out of it, tell him Mr. Regal expects an answer. He's talking down to Adam Cole after he choked him out. Tell this asshole when he wakes up that Regal tonight expects an answer. Love it. This was an LOL moment. This was awesome. We got a very cryptic vignette. I don't know what this means. I legitimately thought it was an actual fucking USA Network commercial. That's how much I was paying attention. But going around on Twitter, this was something to do with NXT. Back from a commercial break, we go back to the show, and we see a very brief teaser that airs, and it shows a battery charging at just 1%. And we've seen this throughout the night. It's charging and charging and charging. I'm assuming it's going to charge to 100%, and we're going to get a reveal as to who this pertains to. I don't know who is in line for this new vignette. I don't know what WWE has planned here in NXT for this vignette, but there are a couple of noticeable names that it could be. Tessa Blanchard is not one of the names. So get it out of your system. It's not Tessa Blanchard. And neither is Diamond Mine. That's coming next week. I think that's going to be the reveal of NXT's new show on the WWE Network, NXT Evolve. That's what I think it's going to be. This battery vignette is not Tessa Blanchard. I think Tessa is on her way to AEW. This could be Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox seems to be ready to come back, from what I hear. Could be Tegan Nox coming back. It could be Roderick Strong. We haven't seen Roderick Strong in quite some time. Don't know where he went or what happened to him, but it could be the return of Roderick Strong. That doesn't sound like a big debut or a big star for this type of vignette. You're probably expecting a bigger name, but it could be Tegan. It could be Roderick Strong. Kona Reeves. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, Kona Reeves is working diligently in the Performance Center and really expressing to management that he wants to work on a gimmick that's going to get him on TV. He's been working diligently to get himself in shape, ring ready, and get a proper gimmick working that keeps him on TV. Because if you guys remember, Kona Reeves back in the 1 hour version of NXT many years ago, he was primed and ready for a push, but he didn't really have a gimmick. We didn't really know who he was. So Kona Reeves could be the one responsible for these vignettes. Again, kind of underwhelming. Kona Reeves. Roderick Strong, kind of underwhelming. Tegan Nox. I love Tegan Nox, but to a point, kind of underwhelming. I don't really know who else it could be, but we got a new teaser coming that's going to, I guess, reveal somebody coming back to the roster or somebody making their debut. Let me know who you guys think it is. Santos Escobar. He was backstage. He reflected on how Legado del Fantasma came up short at NXT TakeOver In Your House. Winner takes all. He goes on and warns Bronson Reed that he's coming for him one-on-one, and he will take the North American Championship. The reason why he picked up the championship and kind of froze at TakeOver, started laughing maniacally, is because he saw his reflection in the North American Championship. Bronson Reed came over and legitimately squashed him like a bug at TakeOver, and he wasn't the one pinned, so I knew coming out of that pay-per-view that Santos Escobar and Bronson Reed were going to continue. I don't see Santos Escobar winning the North American Championship, as I do think Bronson Reed has a nice little string of opponents lined up and waiting for him. We could see Bronson Reed versus Santos Escobar. We could see Bronson Reed versus Pete Dunne. We could see Bronson Reed versus who I think is going to take the championship off of him, and that is Isaiah Swerve Scott. Lots of opponents ready for Bronson Reed, man. Should be really, really, really good. Cruiserweight Championship Open Challenge. Kushida is doing the John Cena on NXT. We got Kushida defending the title against Trey Baxter. Never seen Trey Baxter before in my entire life, man. Maybe I should be watching 205 Live. I don't know. I never seen this guy once in my entire life. Trey Baxter is the name, and he is a cruiserweight. This is formerly Blake Christian. I had to go up and look up his old independent name, Blake Christian. He was able to keep All Heart, was his nickname. He was able to keep that part. All Heart, Trey Baxter. So he debuted tonight, and I don't really get it. I get the open challenge. I don't really get why people debut on TV only to see them lose. Back in the day, you see somebody debut on TV for the first time and they usually get a victory. Kind of setting the tone for what's to come for them now that they've been showed off on TV. But everybody here is almost a newbie in the Performance Center or somebody that WWE is very high on that they put on 205 Live because they don't have room for them on NXT, and they debut them to lose. I don't know. Just my thought process about all that. So we saw a vignette about who he was and where he came from right before the match. Trey Baxter, I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I do, but he gives off, and it's not like who I'm about to mention is a big name or anything, but he looks like a downsized version of Buddy Murphy. He looks like Buddy Murphy, very similar. He moves like Buddy Murphy, but he isn't as smooth as Buddy Murphy. This is more of a bargain basement Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy seems to be somebody that does everything just flawlessly. He reminded me of Buddy Murphy for some reason. I don't know why. So, Kyle O'Reilly ends up walking out during this match, a couple of minutes into it. He walks down to ringside because if you guys remember, William Regal told him and Cole that they could pick their opponents for next week. If they want to get this frustration out, go beat somebody else up. I'm giving you guys an unsanctioned match. Before you do that, I'll give you guys the chance to choose your own opponents. So Kyle O'Reilly's coming out, and he's staring down Kushida, and he's staring down Trey Baxter. So he's standing at the top of the ramp. Kushida is on the defensive. He comes back. Baxter cut him off with a couple of cool flips. He did one of these big flips into a kick. It's what these cruiserweights usually do. A lot of flips, a lot of dives, a lot of kicks. So they traded strikes back and forth. Baxter, he was rocked by a Kushida right hand. Baxter managed to catch Kushida in a running Spanish fly. Not as fluid as you would usually see it, but he nailed it anyway. Baxter then springboarded into a 450 splash for a very close near fall. O'Reilly was watching this from the outside. Kushida caught Baxter in a Kimura lock while both were sitting atop the top turnbuckle. Kushida then leapt off the ropes to deliver an avalanche shoulder breaker, followed up by a punt kick to the shoulder. Kushida then applied the hoverboard lock. Baxter eventually tapped out. Not a bad showcase for Baxter, but he wasn't somebody that blew me away either. I was more in line with watching Christian Casanova last week. I thought he did a good job, even though I don't think that was really him at 100% either. I think they toned him down too from what I last saw of him. But this guy, he moves okay. He isn't somebody that I'm going to go out there and say, oh my God, we need to see him back on TV again. But Kushida is doing a good job with these open challenges, man. So O'Reilly gets in the ring after the match, and he is challenging Kushida next week. The match is set for next Tuesday. Not sure if the Cruiserweight Championship is on the line. Knowing Kushida, he may actually put the Cruiserweight Championship on the line. I hope not. The match should be great. But Kyle O'Reilly, in absolutely no way, shape, or form, deserves a Cruiserweight Championship match from Kushida, even though Kushida may want to put it on the line just because he's a fighting champion. Kyle O'Reilly doesn't deserve a championship match for any championship. He's not championship material at all yet. I don't even know if he's going to get there, to be quite honest with you. And the most important thing about it, folks, is he lost. He was the guy that was in the final sequence of the Fatal 5-Way. He passed out. He took the L in the Fatal 5-Way from Karrion Kross at Sunday's TakeOver in Your House. So in no way, shape, or form does this guy deserve a championship match of any sort on any brand in WWE. Hopefully that is not the case. Frankie Monet. She was backstage and she was interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. She was with her dog, Presley. I'm more interested in the dog than I am Frankie Monet. Frankie has a huge announcement, she says. She will have her encore performance of her world premiere, which was her debut win over Cora Jade a couple of weeks back. So we're getting the encore next week. She runs off and stops as she sees Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea in the back, mentioning how they could have won at TakeOver in their dark match against Stevie Ray and Zoe Stark. Now, if it wasn't for Robert Stone, they should have won, she said. Robert Stone is holding them back. So Stone obviously walks out of a room behind them, and they exchanged hellos and how you doing? Monet quickly changes her tune. She's talking shit about Robert Stone, and as Robert Stone walks in, she all of a sudden praises Robert Stone and says, you know, I was just finished telling Jessie and Aaliyah here how they could have won their match if they listened to you a little bit more. Meanwhile, she was just caught saying on camera that they could have won their match if they weren't in the Robert Stone brand, being held back by said Robert Stone. So Robert Stone says, wow, I tell them that all the time. Great minds think alike. More Presley, less Monet, is what I say. I'm not digging it, man. I don't know what they're doing with Taya Valkyrie. I was never a big Taya Valkyrie guy anyway. I was never a big fan. She was good, but she never really commanded attention when she was on my television screen. But there's nobody in this chat and there's nobody that's watching this show that can tell me that this is the best that they got for Frankie Monet. Why is she here? Feuding with Robert Stone and getting involved with the Robert Stone brand is what you think is best for Taya Valkyrie? You know, she's no spring chicken. I don't know why we're wasting our time here. This woman should be on the main roster, move the Miz on, have him go home, get surgery, rehabilitate, come back, do what he's got to do, and meanwhile, put Frankie Monet with John Morrison. They're married. There's no way anybody's going to tell me that what John Morrison is doing now with his drip stick is better than him with Frankie Monet, his actual real-life wife. She could take him to a higher level and actually make him a main event guy if they play it right. But yet here we're fucking around in NXT with her feuding with the Robert Stone brand. Sounds like a dead-end angle that nobody's going to give a shit about to me. LA Knight. This was my other favorite segment of the show besides Samoa Joe choking out Adam Cole. So Ted DiBiase's in the ring. The ring is set up with a red mat. Ted has armed guards with him, and they're guarding the $1 Million Championship, which is beautifully held in a briefcase, open. Ted takes the mic and says at TakeOver, he finally found somebody worthy of being the next $1 Million Champion. We see a video package of LA Knight on the big screen. A white Corvette pulls up to the Capitol Wrestling Center in the parking lot. Knight steps out. He's smoking a cigar. He walks inside the Capitol Wrestling Center, and the announcer introduces him as the new $1 Million Champion. Knight is in the ring. He's posing. He takes the microphone and says, let him talk, please, please. I'll tend to you geeks in a second. He says he wants to talk to Ted first. He says it's not often in life we get to meet our heroes, and it's even more rare in this business you get to share the ring with your hero. He goes on and says he took Ted's words about climbing the ladder of success seriously. He's banged up. He's hurting from the ladder match at TakeOver, but he's standing there with Ted and the belt right now makes it all worth it. Knight goes on about how Ted was always on his TV screen as he watched wrestling at home when he was a kid, just like all of us. Ted DiBiase was one of my favorite heels of all time growing up. He says Ted being a fixture of his childhood is more than an understatement, and he needed Ted here tonight so he can express his gratitude and appreciation. And to honestly say, just thank you. He just wanted to thank Ted DiBiase. They shake hands. Ted says he's very welcome. You earned it. Knight calls for this moment, and he says this is the greatest moment of his entire wrestling career, And it would be an honor. The honor of his life if Ted would officially crown him as the $1 Million Champion. Ted says he would be happy to do so. He grabs the belt from the briefcase and he places it over LA Knight's shoulder. They shake hands. Ted introduces LA Knight as the new $1 Million Champion. He laughs. LA Knight laughs. They laugh together. Pyro goes off. Knight goes on about how he's learned so much from Ted DiBiase in the last few weeks. But now he has everything he wants. So it's time to drop what he doesn't need. Here, I thought he was legitimately not going to accept the $1 Million Championship, but he goes on to attack Ted DiBiase. He right-hands him down to the mat. He stomps away at Ted DiBiase. Vicious beatdown of Ted DiBiase by LA Knight. Cameron Grimes rushes out to the ring. Crowd goes crazy. He unloads on Knight. He saves DiBiase from this vicious attack. Grimes knocks Knight out of the ring. Goes to check on DiBiase. Fans are chanting, "To the moon! To the moon! To the moon!" As Knight is running up the ramp with the $1 Million Championship. Grimes says Knight has crossed the line and he is going to pay. You know, I was one of many people that thought that Cameron Grimes losing the ladder match at TakeOver was a bad booking decision. Some might actually still feel that way. But what WWE did here tonight, man, I actually loved it. Not only does this make LA Knight a fucking dick, a heel for attacking Ted DiBiase, taking the belt, wanting the belt, pretending to care for Ted DiBiase, and then dump him immediately. Only to have Cameron Grimes come out and save the day and really have Grimes being the one truly backed up by Ted DiBiase. This was great. This was great. We got the ladder match. You thought it was over. We thought it was a bad booking decision. LA Knight's the new champion. Grimes, where does he go from here? There were rumors about Vince McMahon wanting characters on the main roster. I even posed the idea of Vince McMahon maybe calling him up to the main roster because he's only one of a select few that is actually a character on television in NXT. But LA Knight turning on Ted DiBiase not only makes LA Knight a damn good heel, but it also sets up Cameron Grimes to be an even bigger babyface because everybody loves Ted DiBiase. And if you're going to put your hands on Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes is going to be the one to extract revenge from this entire situation all over LA Knight. He's going to be a bigger babyface for it. And I think Triple H and management loves Cameron Grimes to a point where when they get back in front of fans, I hope the next TakeOver, SummerSlam weekend, is in actually a bigger venue. I hope it's in not a stadium, but an actual arena. Maybe they're thinking, we want to give Cameron Grimes this push. We want to make Cameron Grimes with this character and Ted DiBiase by his side, but we want to do it in front of fans because we know it's going to be big. Cameron Grimes is now set up to take that belt off of LA Knight in front of fans, a larger group of fans, and he's going to be a bigger babyface for it. The way that they reacted to him at TakeOver and the way they reacted to him tonight, he's a babyface. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about what Cameron Grimes is. He's a babyface. And I love it. This was great. In a rare instance where I thought I was correct on Sunday night, I was wrong. LA Knight winning was the right idea. Cameron Grimes losing is only going to make him a bigger babyface in the end. Kudos. I think everything just went very well in this segment. Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, who apparently is getting a lot of hate online. I don't know why. Raquel Gonzalez, boring. I don't get it. She's dull. She's green. Yada, yada, yada from all the IWC fucking unintelligent geeks. Give it time, man. What's her character? Why is WWE pushing her so hard? It should go to somebody else. All the excuses in the book. They issue a warning to the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Raquel says her girl wants gold. She obviously can't have the Women's Championship. And she wants another title herself to add to the collection. They're going to take out Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden Carter tonight. But then they're coming for Indi Hartwell and Candice LeRae. And then they are going to become two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. I wouldn't mind that. But it seems like we may have another team in contention because Zoe Stark and Io Shirai may be throwing their names into the tag team hat because Io hasn't won tag team championship gold either. So she may be looking to add more hardware to her collection. The ladies' tag team match. It was Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Not bad. Crowd was into it. Not bad. We got, obviously, the heels winning this match, but there was heat on the baby faces. Hot tag to Kayden Carter. She ran wild with some offensive maneuvers. Carter was cut off by Gonzalez. Sidewalk slam by Gonzalez for a 2 count. So then we get some double team moves by Kai and Gonzalez. They went for another near fall off some double team moves. Kacy Catanzaro jumped in to break up the count. Catanzaro and Carter with some double team moves on Kai. They then concluded with Carter giving Kai a neck breaker as Catanzaro flipped into a 450 splash. Ricochet seems to be rubbing off on his girlfriend. Catanzaro then covered Kai for a near fall where Gonzalez dragged Catanzaro out of the ring to break up the count. Gonzalez also smashed Carter into the barricade like she did Shotzi. Kai with a draping GTS on Catanzaro. Kai went for the cover and got the 1-2-3 on Kacy. So there you go. They're building up these two to go after the tag team championships. And Io Shirai and Zoe Stark may have something to say about that. I don't think they'll be doing heel versus heel. I do think that we're going to get Io Shirai and Zoe Stark potentially taking those belts, and then they'll do the babyface team versus the heel team, and then put them back on Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez. We see a video of Ever Rise. They're watching a replay of how Hit Row destroyed their mini house during TakeOver In Your House's pre-show. So they send a warning to Hit Row. They're sipping their coffee, and the match is made for next week. It's going to be Ever Rise against Hit Row. Seems like Hit Row is going to have another hit single on their hands next week in the form of a W. We got Io Shirai. She's back in NXT. Thank God, says most of you. Good luck if she was heading to the main roster. She takes the microphone. She says that she's back. She feels good. She says something in Japanese. And she was going to announce her next target. And out comes Candice LeRae. Shirai tosses the microphone. She stares at Candice LeRae. LeRae says, a lot has changed in NXT since Shirai was gone. And because LeRae, obviously you can see, is now an uncrowned champion. So Io Shirai is no longer an unbeaten champion. So it's back to the bottom of the barrel for her. Get in line. LeRae says Shirai has to earn opportunities now. LeRae says there's something that hasn't changed. She still can't stand Io. And unfortunately for Io, she picked the wrong time to screw with LeRae. So LeRae goes to the ring, and then Indi Hartwell attacks from behind, dropping Shirai. They double team Io, and then Shirai comes back, delivers a 619 to Indi. Shirai goes to springboard, but LeRae grabs her leg from the floor. Hartwell takes advantage, knocks Shirai to the floor. LeRae beats up Shirai at ringside. Hartwell is told to jump to the top rope as Io is laid out on the commentary desk. Candice is ordering her to deliver an elbow drop off the top turnbuckle to the outside through the announce table, a.k.a. do the Shane McMahon. I was curious to know if she could actually pull that off. Thank God she didn't, because I wasn't giving her much of a chance in that situation. I'd love to see it, but my first instinct was there's no way she's going to make that. So Zoe Stark rushes to the ring and stops Hartwell from jumping to the top rope. She fights off both champions until Shirai, she gets off the announce table. She joins her in the ring. Double springboard missile dropkick to both Indi and Candice, sending them out of the ring. And it looks like we got a tag team match brewing between Io, Zoe Stark, and The Way. Main event time. MSK is eating popcorn in the back. We got Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. They're walking to the ring. Ciampa goes on through the curtain. Thatcher stops, sees MSK eating popcorn, takes the popcorn, eats the popcorn, and then walks away with the popcorn. Maybe he needed a little energy before he went out there. And he felt like popcorn was the only thing that was going to get him through this match. Texas Tornado rules Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. This was awesome. Very, very stiff and brutal match. But it is what you would expect from two guys that are ingrained in the British strong style. And two guys like Ciampa and Thatcher who, let's be real, they go out there and kill themselves every single time. This was fun, and we're going to pick it up towards the end of this. Gibson was on the floor with Ciampa in an electric chair. Drake dove through the ropes on Ciampa. Ciampa sold the... It was a destroyer-like move on the outside. It was a total elimination on the outside. Dove through the ropes. Dive. Knocks Ciampa off of Gibson's shoulders. So that was awesome. Ciampa was selling it like a champ. And Drake was able to get back into the match. Drake made a save to break up a pinning attempt. Ciampa also jumped in to break up a pin for his team. GYV looked to put Ciampa through the announce desk. So they propped the table's front portion, the cover of the desk, and they slammed Ciampa through the little NXT logo portion of the announce desk. It cracked in half. Ciampa bounced right off of it. It looked great. So the veterans went to put Ciampa through the table, but Drake had to get back into the ring to fight with Thatcher. Ciampa countered Gibson, and Ciampa dropped Gibson on the desk with an air raid crash. Did not break. It looked fucking brutal. Drake was yelling at Ciampa to get back in the ring. He didn't know that Thatcher was stalking him from behind. Double team chops by Thatcher and Ciampa. Fairy tale ending by Ciampa. Thatcher applied an ankle lock. Ciampa then jumped in to apply an arm bar at the same time that the ankle lock was applied. I'm thinking to myself, if that is their finishing move, I love it. Fairy tale ending into an arm bar and then an ankle lock at the same time? Nobody's going to be able to withstand that punishment. Drake tapped out, and we got Thatcher, Toothless Timmy, and Tommaso Ciampa winning this match. Looks to be that they are the number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Because Imperium lost to Breezango, and we got the GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans, losing here. There really aren't any other heel teams at that level at all. So we got this babyface team going up against another babyface team. We got Ciampa and Thatcher against MSK. Should be a hell of a match, but that's it. I don't know where they go from there. Does Ciampa and Thatcher win the tag team championship from MSK? It may be a little bit too soon to take those belts off of the MSK boys. But if they don't put the championships on Ciampa and Thatcher, who is going to take those belts off of MSK? That means the Grizzled Young Veterans got to get back in contention. That means Imperium's got to get back in contention. Or maybe we just get Hit Row taking the championships off of MSK eventually. Maybe we're looking at Hit Row holding all the gold, and they'll have a multi-platinum album on their hands. Maybe we get Swerve with the North American Championship, and we get Adonis and Francis with the Tag Team Championships. I don't know. I think it's too soon to take those belts off of MSK, man. They're too hot right now. But if they do put them on Ciampa and Thatcher, I would not be opposed to that whatsoever. At the end of the show, Mackenzie Mitchell tried to interview Samoa Joe and William Regal. There was a little mess up earlier in the show. She walked out of the Capitol Wrestling Center with them, and they immediately cut away from whatever she was about to say. I don't know if that was planned in that moment or they made a production mishap. I don't know. But after the show was over, she did get to interview them, and she's out in the parking lot looking for comments from Regal and Samoa Joe. Regal says, it looks like things will be a little bit different around here now. Joe smiles and says, this is night one of many. Regal agrees. Joe walks off. Regal gets back into his SUV, drives away, and NXT goes off the air. NXT was very good tonight. Very good, guys. And I was very pleased with the flow of the show. There was some great matches tonight. Samoa Joe being back injected some life into this show. Him being back in general is going to inject some life into the show. So we're looking at NXT, man. They may be making a small turn around the corner. Maybe. I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt yet because I'm still very upset with Triple H's comments. He needs to get back on the same page that they were before the move to USA Network, man. NXT is missing something. Is Joe that something? Not completely. The show still is a work in progress. The show still is missing something. But tonight was a step in the right direction, man. Joe being back is going to inject a lot of life into this show. And I think Joe on the show every week is going to make it, I don't want to say appointment television, but it's going to make Tuesday night a lot more enjoyable. I thank you guys very much for all of your support, man. We had 1,200 plus in the chat tonight for NXT. I'm very pleased with that. Those are the numbers that we should be getting for NXT. But I appreciate you guys joining me tonight, man. If you guys want to hang out, we're going to go over some super chats, and we are going to hang out and drink some cold beverages inside the venue. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. We are at 589 likes. Let's try for 700, man. We're almost there. 700 is the goal. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. If you guys enjoyed what you've seen here tonight and not subscribe to the channel, I would hope that you enjoy your stay and you want more of Off the Script. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Off the Script 380 on Sunday, Monday Night Raw from last night. We got the Super Show of Dynamite and SmackDown rolled into one big Off the Script episode. That was on Saturday. Go and check all that stuff out on the homepage. And make sure you guys go and check out my sponsor for today's show, man. That is Advanced GG. Advanced.gg is the website. It's pinned at the top of the comment section. It's pinned in the live stream chat. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. And you guys can get yourself some Advanced GG, man. I love it. We're going to go over these super chats, man. Let's start at the top here with Michelle Moran. How many rematches you think Great American Bash will have? I don't know. I'm thinking Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole may be the only one. I don't do Cameron Grimes and LA Knight yet. I do that at the next takeover. I build to that. They may do it at Great American Bash for all I know, man. I hope not, but I hope that next takeover is in an arena and Grimes can get that big reaction, winning that $1 million championship. But looking like Cole and O'Reilly may be the only one. I think they do Ciampa and Thatcher against MSK. And I don't know if they do Cross defending the title. I don't know who he would defend the title against. We'll see. But they're clearly building towards the Great American Bash. Reese with the 1999 Super Chat. Mr. No Days Off. You better fucking believe it, Reese. Thank you for $20, brother. Bradley Robinette. $1.99. My Red Sox beat your Braves. LOL. The Braves suck. It's not that difficult of a thing to do nowadays. Gino with a $4.99 Super Chat. Great show as usual. What'd you think of the Nintendo E3 Direct? Metroid, Zelda, and Mario came swinging. Mario Golf, Breath of the Wild 2, and Metroid Prime 4 is in development, but Metroid Dread, I'm all over it, man. I watched that gameplay trailer about 3 times already. Jerry Winters. $14.99 Super Chat. Hey, JD, thanks for all the content. Mr. No Days Off, glad you enjoyed the show tonight. And Ratchet and Clank today was great. I will link my second channel in the description after the podcast is over with, man. You guys got to go subscribe to my gaming channel. Yes, Ben, now you're getting timed out for telling people something that everybody knows already. I got to link my second channel in the description because you guys got to go over there, man. I'll be streaming on YouTube a little bit more. Second channel, gaming channel. If you guys are into everything that happens here, got to go and subscribe, man. Laura Conway with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, JD, you're awesome and give the best reviews. Thank you for all that you do for your fans each and every week. We love you. Thank you, Laura. World of Wrestling with a $5 super chat. I can't believe Triple H said if you don't like it, don't watch. What a dumb thing to say when your ratings are in the toilet. LOL. Yeah, I don't think Triple H was really thinking in that moment, man. Or maybe he was. Maybe he's just a fucking shill. Maybe he's afraid to lose his position. But yes, the comments were ridiculous, man. I ranted about it on episode 380. Go and check that out if you guys want my rant on what Triple H said in that conference call. It's on Sunday's episode of Off the Script. PMAC with a $5 super chat. So it looks like NXT has got rid of the virtual geeks. I hope it's permanent. Everybody, I hope it's permanent. Everybody minutes you would see a geek doing the thumbs down. Yes, the virtual geeks, I'm glad that they're phasing them out, man. They were ridiculous to look at. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. The battery teaser for the new updated Charlotte Android to appear on NXT television. More androids are coming, and soon they will take over WWE. God damn it, Jacob. You took my fucking joke, man. I couldn't believe I missed that one, man. This is what happens when I'm a little bit more serious, man, a little bit more level-headed on a fucking Tuesday night. I don't make my typical jokes. Yeah, Charlotte Flair was running low, man. Back to the factory you go. Francis Loop with a $15 super chat. It's ironic that after Triple H's remarks on WWE having the best women's division on OTS 380, Raw puts Eva Marie and the 4 crappy women's matches the next night on Monday. Notice Triple H said WWE is the best women's division, not NXT. 19-year-old Julia Hart of the Varsity Blondes has more wrestling ability than Eva Marie. Bro, Eva Marie is a fucking embarrassment, man. Get her out of here. Triple H's comments are ridiculous, man. The reason why he has the best women's division in all of wrestling is because he's got the money to afford the best women's division in all of wrestling. It's easy to go and bring everybody in from outside sources. How many of those women on NXT's roster are homegrown? Answer that question. Dayron Sanders with a $5 super chat. Samoa and Regal is the perfect combination. You're right. Tonight was better than TakeOver. Enjoy Cole getting taken out by Samoa. Issa, the NYC Demon Diva, with a $4.99 super chat. What is up, Issa? Roman and I versus Frankie and Presley. Let's go. I'm taking you and Roman all day long. Taking you and Roman all day long. Not even a competition in my eyes. Captain Solo with a $10 super chat. Were you ever a fan of Alice in Chains or Pantera? Yes, I'm a fan of both, actually. If you were Tony Khan and could sign only one, who would you sign? CM Punk or Daniel Bryan? CM Punk. Francis Loop with another $10 super chat. Skim through Elevation. Know what? That four-man faction of Peter Avalon, Cesar Bononi, Ryan Nemeth, and J.D. Drake are growing on me. I actually enjoy them more than both the Nightmare Factory and the Family. Bro, I don't watch Elevation, bro. I don't watch Dark. It's a waste of my fucking time, man. I'd rather put those hours into cooking a nice meal or not watching wrestling at all and just detoxing from wrestling, man. Do you know what Monday Night Raw does to one's fucking soul? Monday Night Raw is so bad, I barely have anything left for NXT, man. My voice is shot. This week, I guess, is a good week that I have no Wednesday or no Thursday shows to review. You may get an extra thrown in there for one of those days, but Monday Night Raw is so terrible, man. It leaves you feeling like a fucking disaster. It's like you went out on an all-night binger and just drank yourself into oblivion. Then you wake up the next morning asking yourself, what the fuck did I just do? King Mo! I got your email, King Mo. $1.99 super chat, OTS for life. Thumbs up, never a dull moment on OTS. Thank you, bro. Francis Luke, you fucking beast tonight. A $5 super chat. Ryan Nemeth is actually a good spokesman for the group. Good mic skills. I guess the four horsemen, or the horsewomen versus the MMA horsewomen is no more. Good. It was never a thing to begin with, man. That feud was never a thing, man. It was a fabrication of everybody's mind. Rock Hawk with a $5 super chat. Thank you for all that you do. Great show tonight. Thank you, Hawk. Appreciate you, bro. Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. JD, thoughts on the phone battery? Who was it for? It was a fun show tonight. Also, you couldn't pay me to take that Ciampa Thatcher finish. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Mr. Cake, I don't know when you got into the stream, bro, but we talked about it. I think the possibilities are Roderick Strong. It could be a Tegan Knox. It could be a Kona Reeves. It's not Tessa Blanchard. It may be Charlotte indicating that she's low on power, bro, like Jacob Donnelly said. She doesn't have the proper charging cable. She needs a battery upgrade. It's Bullseye with a $5 super chat. Wish Champs had a bigger role. Guy used to be GOAT in NXT. I'm assuming you're meaning Ciampa. Yes, Ciampa was once upon a time a godlike level heel, man. I mean, Ciampa was so fucking good, man. He had no theme music. Ciampa had, at one point, no theme music, but he had the greatest theme music in all of WWE. If you're a heel like that and you receive that type of reaction every week just by the boos he was receiving, that is the greatest thing you could possibly come out to, man. Those are the days I miss. He was so good that he got that reaction and it was 100% genuine. He probably went home to his wife and said, damn, I'm fucking good, man. That version of NXT will never, ever, 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 ever be topped. Magician Sapphire, what's up, man? $10 super chat. Great OTS as always. Also, didn't know you were a Metroid fan. I am now a bigger fan of yours than I was. Bro, listen, me and my brothers grew up on Metroid, bro. We played them all. We had them all. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy. I love Metroid, man. I can't wait for Metroid. It's gonna be a fucking stressful endeavor, I'll tell you that, because those games are fucking hard. But man, I'm gonna enjoy every second of it. Metroid Dread looks incredible. And I'm very curious to see what Metroid Prime 4 looks like. Because it took a lot to get used to for a first-person Metroid shooter, man, but you can't go wrong with Metroid. It's Bullseye, $5 super chat. I mean, I wish Ciampa had a bigger role. Stupid autocorrect. Bro, I knew who you meant. I knew who you meant, bro. Tony Paul. Sounds like somebody that should own an Italian restaurant. Hey, yo, we're going to Tony Paul's over here. I'm going to order the ravioli over at Tony Paul's. Hey, yo, Tony Paul, bring over the bottle of Sauvignon Blanc to the table, man. Make it a triple, please. We're celebrating over here. Hey, JD, next, NXT should use the $1 Million Championship as a Money in the Bank type concept for a year till the next In Your House. Keep up the good work. No. Now, the $1 Million Championship is a symbol of Ted DiBiase bestowing his legacy upon somebody. It's not going to be defended. I don't think it should be defended, or I don't think it's going to be defended. But, like I said, I think it's going to be more in line with what the FTW title is with Taz, giving it to Brian Cage. Dayron Sanders with a $5 super chat. You forgot to mention the stare down between Samoa Joe and Pete Dunne towards the end. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about the Pete Dunne Samoa Joe stare down? What pertinent, important segment was that to the show? Samoa Joe's not wrestling. Pete Dunne is only staring at Samoa Joe because Pete Dunne right now is going around saying that he's the baddest motherfucker in NXT. Can't be the baddest motherfucker in NXT if you got Samoa Joe on your roster. Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, favorite proud pop-up moment in wrestling? You know, watching someone climb the mountain from day one and watching them get their moment. Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano and Daniel Bryan, man, at WrestleMania 30. Johnny Gargano at TakeOver New York. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, man. If you don't agree with the Johnny Gargano-Adam Cole match being one of the greatest matches that WWE has ever produced in its entire history, you are a complete blithering idiot. You don't even deserve to talk wrestling. That match was perfect. The crowd, the match, Moro, perfect. The moment. They struck gold. It was supposed to be Johnny and Ciampa, and somehow they got Adam Cole in that situation and made it fucking... I wouldn't change a fucking thing. But Adam Cole's not a main event guy, though. Adam Cole's not a main event elite wrestler. Fuck out of here. You clearly are a brain-dead fucking imbecile if you think anything less of Adam Cole. Oh, he's a vanilla midget. Tony Paul. $1.99. You earned another $1.99 for the impression. Tony, we're going to Tony Paul's. I'm going to order the meatball sub. Extra mozzarella on there, Tony Paul. And get this broad a plate of chicken parmesan over there, please. Side of spaghetti with the red sauce. Edgar Estrada. $20 super chat. Yes, Edgar, Adam Cole is small, says the geeks. HBK was small. Adam Cole is a top 3 performer in the world, man. Don't even at me. He may be the best pro wrestler in WWE. The IWC Tribal Chief has entered, or as entertained. I entered the venue, but I'm entertaining you again, yes. Great review, bro. Waiting for Hoot to send me a beer mug. And We Are Live t-shirt. 2XL. Super Mario, Metroid, and JD are all goated. Prayers from Mama Grimm. Love y'all. Stay safe, fam. Thank you, Edgar. I gotta hit up Hoot Media. I gotta hit up Hoot Media, bro. I didn't know that Hoot Media has not sent you a beer mug and a Are We Live t-shirt yet. 2XL. I gotta get on that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all, man. We're almost at 700, man. Can we get to 700 likes? We're 28 away. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up, hit that thumbs up now. Otherwise, I'm not taking you to Tony Paul's to go get a meatball fucking sandwich, man. Come on. You got to hit the thumbs up, and then I'll get you all meatball sandwiches from Tony Paul, okay? Meatball sandwich, chicken parmesan. You want to play the muscles? What do you want? Play the muscles with a nice Fra Diavolo sauce. What do you want? Hit the fucking thumbs up, man. Nice side dish of pasta, a little penne. What do you want? Anyway, I gotta get out of here, guys. I got some Destiny to play. Got some stuff to do, gaming. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, man. I may take tomorrow off and then attack Thursday. Black Ops Cold War has a new season coming out on Thursday. Maybe all over that. Streaming on Twitch. I'll leave my second channel down below in the description of this very video. I would appreciate you guys subscribe. Some entertaining stuff over there. Trying to get monetized over there. 706. Thank you guys, man. You guys are fucking awesome. See, I know everybody wanted the fucking muscles with the Fra Diavolo sauce, man. You can't turn that down. I'm not a muscles guy, but I'll buy you one. I'll buy you a plate of muscles. You want some cannolis? That's where I'm going, man. I'm getting the fucking Mustang. I'm going right to the bakery, get some fucking cannolis, man. Who doesn't like some cannolis? You know? Hit that subscribe button down below, guys. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the other content that you might have missed on the channel, including Monday Night Raw's podcast last night. Epic review and rant on Eva Marie. Guys, I'm taking my cold beverage. I'm getting in the Mustang. It's going to be a beautiful week in New York. Windows are down. I got two things I want from you. Number one, I want to see those guitar emojis in the chat right now. Number two, I want you guys, that music you're listening to, on Max. I'll see you guys on Friday, back live with SmackDown and AEW. Till then, guys, take care. Have a great night. I'll see you later.